Okay friends, welcome back for our tutorial for our block for our Heirloom Afghan crochet along. We're here for block 8 and this one is a little bit of a doozy. I'm going to spend a little extra time showing you how to do some stitches here for this block. Now I've gone ahead and I worked up a block to show you what we're going to be doing. And this is going to be this beautiful chevron pattern. Do you see it? Look at the beautiful arrows of the chevron as they go across the block. We're going to be doing this and it's going to just take a little extra effort, but I know you can do it. So let me move this block aside here and let me show you what I've got here so far. I've completed 3 rows of our block already. Our first 3 rows consist of a single crochet row, a half double crochet row, and a single crochet row. Now we're going to do our block all in one color as we work on this, but for this tutorial I'm going to switch things up a little bit and I'm going to bring in a second color just so you can see the contrast and so that the placement of your stitches make a little more sense. I don't know where my little scissors are, so I'm just going to grab these bigger scissors here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut the yarn for the gray. And I'm just going to add our white here. And this way, hopefully you'll be able to see the stitches a little better, because I want to explain to you what a front post double crochet is. When we look at the anatomy of a stitch, I'm going to go right here to our first few stitches. I'm just going to work a couple double crochets real quick for you. There's 1, here's 2, I'm going to put 5 in just for fun. Here's 3. Again, these are double crochets. This is not part of our pattern. It's just so I can show you what we're going to be doing here. Here's 4. And just for good measure, here's 5. So if you recall, anytime that we work a stitch, we usually work in the prior row below and we work in these loops here. We have the front loop and we have the back loop. Now most of the time when we do our stitch, we go through both the front loop and the back loop and we complete our stitch. Now we've had patterns where sometimes we only go through the front loop and sometimes we only go through the back loop. Well, I want to show you how to complete a front post double crochet. I didn't say front loop, I didn't say back loop, I said front post. So looking at the anatomy of our stitch, at the top here we do have the front loop, the back loop, and the whole length, the whole body of the stitch right here, that is the post of the stitch. So for some of the stitches that we're going to work for our pattern, we're going to work around the body of this stitch, around the post. So there are some stitches that are called front post. That means you're going to put your hook in from the front of the stitch down towards the back, go around the stitch and pop back up in the front again. And that way you've got your whole post is right here. You're working in the front here. There are other post stitches that we may work on during our Heirloom Afghan that are going to be called back post double crochets, and that means while you're working on your piece you may have a loop on your hook up here and you're going to go from the back and poke up towards you and then go across and back down through the back again, and then you'll complete your stitch while you're working back here. Okay, but for today we're going to be working on the front post double crochet. So again, this is the post. We will be going in from the front, going around the back and popping up in the front again to complete a stitch. So now that I've shown you the anatomy of the stitch and where the front post is for these double crochets, I want to point out that for this particular pattern, we're going to be working on the front post of the rows of half double crochets that we have here. So keeping in mind that this little piece that I've worked up in gray are single crochets, half double crochets, and single crochets. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take out these double crochets because that's not part of our pattern. That was just for some purposes for you to see what we were doing. And let's go ahead, we're going to load our loop onto our hook here. And so according to our pattern, to start working on row 4, we're going to place a half double crochet in the first 2 single crochets. So this would be 1 and this would be 2. So we're going to go ahead and do a half double crochet here. And a half double crochet here. Now according to our pattern, we're going to do a front post double crochet, not around this next stitch here, but the stitch directly underneath it here in row 2. So if you recall, a double crochet is yarn over. We're going to go into this stitch down below here from the front to the back and around to the front again. So we've got the whole post of that half double crochet on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through. And I like to give yourself a little room because you're going to be building that stitch back up towards the top here. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. It makes this beautiful, almost like an infinity stitch. According to our pattern, we're going to do that one more time. So we're going to work in the stitch right next door to it right here. This is the half double crochet from row 2 right here. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to go into the space where our stitch is and go behind our stitch and come back on the other side of our stitch so we have the whole post of the stitch sitting here on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull our yarn through. Give it just a little tug to to bring it up here a little bit here. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there we have, according to the pattern we'll be working on this next week, our first 2 front post double crochets. Aren't those pretty? They look really pretty. Now to move on with our row, now we're going to put in some half double crochets. Well, we've skipped these 2 single crochets right here, 1, 2, so that we could work below them 1, 2. So according to our pattern, it says to place a half double crochet in each of the next 5 single crochets. I want you to really, really note when you're working on this, this is not the next single crochet. These are ones that we've skipped to put these in place. So if you turn over your work and look at your work, we see we've got 1 here, we've got 2 here. This one right here is where we're going to put our first half double crochet in because these are just going to lay over the top of those right there. So looking at our work, skip 1, skip 2, this is the first stitch we're going to work in, and we're going to place a half double crochet in that stitch, making sure that you go through both the front loop and the back loop. So there's 1 half double crochet. Here is 2 half double crochet, 3 half double crochet, 4 half double crochet, and 5 half double crochet. Now see how your stitches here, there's still a little divot right here. Even as much as I gave them a little bit of breathing room there, you want to make sure that those stitches build up. So don't do them too tight. Don't do them too loose. You'll understand once you start looking at them to see the beauty in them. You'll see how much you need to pull up on that. So there we have our 5 half double crochet. And we're going to go right back into our same pattern again. We're going to go from here to here again, and then again. So we'll have our 3 chevrons that we'll be working on. So according to our pattern, we want to go to our next stitch and go down a row. And we're going to work another front post double crochet. Well, let's look exactly where that's going to be. We know we did one right here around this double crochet. We're going to count 5 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we know that our next front post double crochet is going to go around this one right here. Remember, nice and relaxed and loose to make that beautiful infinity looking sign there. We're going to do that one more time in this stitch right here. Yarn over from the front to the back, back to the front, getting that entire post on your hook. Yarn over and pull your yarn through. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then we've got our second set. Now again, according to our pattern, we're going to place 1 half double crochet in each of the next 5 single crochet. We're going to skip this one and skip this one because these 2 double crochets take the place of those. So skip 1, skip 2. We're going to put our first half double crochet right here in that third one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we've completed the second sequence of 2 front post double crochet followed by 5 half double crochet and then 2 front post followed by 5. We're going to repeat that one more time. And looking here again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here is our next half double crochet that we're going to do a front post double crochet around. So yarn over, find the post of that stitch going in from the front to the back, back to the front until you have that entire post on your hook. It should be very easy. You shouldn't have to force it. You shouldn't have to go through the stitch. You're going around the stitch. We have 3 loops on our hook. Pull through 2, pull through 2. We're going to do that to this very next one right here. We're going to yarn over, go around the post of our stitch from the front, pull our yarn through, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. We're going to look behind here. We're going to skip 1, skip 2, and half double crochet in the third one over. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, completing that sequence because we want to do that sequence 3 times. 2 front post double crochet, 5 half double crochet, 2 front post double crochet, 5 half double crochet, 2 front post double crochet, 5 half double crochet. And we're at the end of our row here, but not quite. We've still got a little bit to go here. We're going to put 1 more half double crochet to get us to the end of our row. And so there's row 4, and you can see how beautiful those front post stitches work up. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And we're going to single crochet across the entire last row on our piece. We should have 24 single crochet when we get to the end. And this is where it's very important that you count for every stitch. on these odd rows. This is row 5. So from this point forward, row 5, row 7, row 9, any row that is odd is going to be the exact same pattern as it was for row 3, which is chain 1 and turn, and then work a single crochet in every stitch across. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I mention that you want to make sure that you go through both the front loop and the back loop as we work across here? Front loop and back loop. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Okay? Now to make this tutorial easy, again I'm going to cut my yarn so you can see the color change, just so that you can see where your stitch placement needs to be. Okay, you're not going to be doing this when we put our block together. This is just so that you can see this as we do this tutorial. We're going to chain 2 and we're going to turn. Okay, and now we're going to work on row 6. Row 6 tells us that we're going to half double crochet in the first 3 single crochet. So let's do that. Here's 1, 2, and 3. Now, for the next row, we don't want our front posts on top of each other. They're going to stagger by 1. So let me grab my block and show you. If you look at our block, you can see that we've got 2 here, but then I don't have 2 right on top of it. I go over 1 and there's 2. Up and over 1 and there's 2. So according to our pattern, our next stitch after completing 3 half double crochets is to do a front post double crochet around the stitch below the next single crochet. So that's going to be this post right here, this front post double crochet. We're going to work another front post double crochet around that stitch. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to go around the post of that stitch. We're going to go from the front, around, and across the front again. And if you look at this, you can just see how easily it just glides in there. So again, yarn over. We're going to go in from the front, around the post of that stitch, and out the front again. Very simple. Grab our yarn and pull it through, giving ourselves plenty of room. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now, we don't have a front post to go around from a front post double crochet, but we need to do another front post double crochet. That's this stitch right here. It's the very next stitch, not the single crochet in this row, but the half double crochet from the row before. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to go around the post for that stitch, yarn over and pull our yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there we've completed 2 more front post double crochet, and they're offset. They're starting to build across this way. According to our pattern, what we want to do next is we want to do a half double crochet in each of the next 5 single crochet. So turning our work over, we're going to see the V's where we did not work into the top of our stitch but around a stitch from the row below. So there's 1, there's 2. Our next half double crochet is going to go right here into this first available one here. So yarn over into that stitch, making sure you get the front loop and the back loop. Pulling our yarn through, we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So there's 1 half double crochet and we need 5. So there's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here we are at our repeat again for our pattern. We're going to do a front post double crochet around this stitch here because it's below our next single crochet. So yarn over, we're going to go around the post of that stitch from the front to the back to the front again. Grab our yarn and pull it through. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There's our first front post double crochet. We need 1 more, just like what we did over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to complete that around this half double crochet from row 4. So yarn over, going from the front around the back and out the front again. We've got the post of that stitch on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull our yarn through. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there we've got our 2 front post double crochet. And you can see how things are starting to build at an angle. Turning our work forward a little bit so we can look at it, we see that we're going to skip this stitch, skip this stitch, and we're going to work our first half double crochet of the row right here in this stitch here. And we want to do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so we're going to repeat that one more time. We're going to place a front post double crochet around, not the one below here, it's going to be over here. We want to go around this second one here. So yarn over, locate our stitch and go from the front and grab that, pull it back through. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We have 1 more front post double crochet to work in this row. So we're going to yarn over and go into the very next half double crochet and work our yarn so that it goes behind and back out the other side of that post. Yarn over. We have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And there we have 2 of the front post double crochets. Now according to our pattern, we're going to skip 1, 2, and we're going to put our first half double crochet right here in this stitch here. And we're going to work 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that takes us right to the end of our row. Now we're going to do one more row. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to chain 1 and turn. So we're going to place a single crochet in every stitch across, making sure that we work in both the front and the back loops, going all the way across. And we want to have 24 when we get there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So we have 24 single crochet across, and let's look at our work on the other side. And here we have our rows of the front post double crochet. I want to encourage you to practice on these. You're going to practice on rows 4 through 7, making sure that you can determine where your placement is, keeping in mind that when we do the actual block for this later in the week, you're not going to have two colors to look at. You're going to be working off of one color. So you need to become familiar with where the stitches go as we go through the patterns. As we build and go, and some of them go this way and then they'll come back this way, when we have our tutorial on Thursday, I will make sure I talk you through every process to make sure that we've got the rows going in the correct direction and that you're working on getting your block completed. Okay, friends, that's all for now. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you back here again on the farm later in the week as we work together on block number 8 on our Heirloom Afghan crochet along. Till then, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.